Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. Yeah, that's right. We are talking about movies on this feed again. Is this cinema is on a break, and I've been accused of being a slave driver, so I'm trying to avoid those allegations. So they're on their break, and we're talking about two movies that I think, for better or worse, deserve a discussion. Later in this episode, we're going to be interacting with Celine Song's directorial debut, Past Lives, and I hope you stick around for that. But before then, we'll be spending the summer at Saltburn with Barry Keoghan, Jacob Elordi, and some other very attractive people. So joining me for this discussion, please get rid of any bathtubs in the area. It's Bolu and Ebuka. How are you
The,
guys
the
doing?
best guest is back. All doing well. The best guest is back as usual. The start of the show. What can I say? I had free time.
I am somewhat disappointed in Banky, only
Why?
because there were so many beautiful lines in Saltburn that I expected him to choose one from.
Yeah, but that involves going back to watch the movie.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, are you trying to say you wouldn't watch Saltburn again?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
Okay, Bolu, welcome back to the podcast. Quicker than I expected. Um, but yeah, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, you were here with us in the fall, going over Gen V. I mean,
Yep,
speaking of,
yep.
have you seen the boys trailer for season 4? Because I assume you'll be back for that.
Yeah, I'll be back for this. After the trailer, it was, the usual, but like now they don't have to sell as much. So like they can be vague. They can just give you like a very vague idea of what's happening, but not much.
Yeah. Um. What are your thoughts on
The
the
boys
boys
trailer.
trailer?
I
I know
haven't
your favorite subplot is Homelander's love of milk, and that didn't appear in the trailer. So how did that make
Of
you
course,
feel?
of course, the milkman likes
Wait,
milk.
what is this? You guys are allowing Banky. Please, this is a joke that Banky likes to make. This is not
A
representative
joke.
of my real
That's
life. But yeah, I haven't seen the trailer, but I'm excited for the season because everyone is now on their neck and watching because they say they repeat the same thing every year, where everyone is trying to kill Homelander and then they switch halfway through into something else and then they team up and then they end up trying to kill Homelander with
yeah, but is it
Homelander not
fun
dead.
though?
It's very fun,
So what are
but
we
this is this
what are
is the
we doing?
final season,
What are
so
we
people are.
This is not the final season.
Is it
Is
not?
it? Is it? It's
No,
fancy?
it's not
No,
the
no,
Butcher
final
is
season.
Butcher
no,
is
no,
about
no.
to die now. So
So he probably won't die.
They'll figure something out. It's a
Like he
comic book.
most likely would not die.
see, this is what people are saying. That's
No,
everything. Every
it's
season is becoming
it's
formulaic.
just TV writing. Like he probably would not die. But they haven't announced that it's the final season, at least at the time of
Have they
recording.
not? Okay,
Oh.
I thought this was like in my head. It's like to be fair. Okay, let me put it like this is their final season with me. When things start taking too long,
I'm
I
crying.
So
get off the
it's
train.
forced. Oh my god, you guys! I genuinely hate. I think, and that's for a different podcast. We're here to talk about two
All right,
movies.
all right.
I
Yeah.
think we're going to start with Saltburn. So for anyone who doesn't know, Saltburn is the follow-up to Emerald Fennell's Oscar-winning film Promising Young Woman. It's written and directed by Emerald Fennell. It stars Barry Keoghan, Jacob Elordi, Rosamund Pike, Richard E. Grant, and Archie Madwike.
Madwakey.
Do you? I did not say Madwiki. I do not. Like, can we not do that? Ibuka, give me a plot summary of what
Saltburn is.
Saltburn is about before we go into thoughts.
Saltburn is about this. How do I put this? Exceptionally rich family, landed gentry, extremely rich. Money has levels, and they're on the uppermost levels of money in the UK.
I mean, they definitely had slaves.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, yes, let's put it like that. And they
Yeah.
had
I also say that so money in UK is not just money. I think they are the top of
exactly,
the top when it comes to class. Because you
exactly,
can have money,
yes,
money in the UK, but
yeah,
like see in America you can kind of like broach anywhere once you get to a certain level of money, unless certain shades. But UK you can make a ton of money, but if you're not a certain type of like old money or you don't have certain bloodlines,
old
you can't
money,
crack. So
exactly,
they're like very old money, but like it still seems like they're quite flush with cash.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
and then I guess their son takes a fondness to a classmate at school.
At
Their
Oxford
son is played beautifully, and I do mean beautifully, by
by
Jacob
Jacob
Elordi.
Elordi.
Literally, with his
Um,
very interesting English accent.
uh, Yeah, it was. Well, I don't know. I'm not really an accents person, so I don't really care about accents. It didn't really take me out. So, and then Barry Keoghan plays the classmate at school. Just before we go anywhere, Ebuka messaged me as I came out of the cinema. I was like, "Is Jacob Elordi in Saltburn the hottest anyone has ever looked on film?"
Since
And I was just like, you know what,
Since
my
when?
consider it
Since Zoe Kravitz
in
in the
Batman.
Batman, but it's
That's
two of them
fair.
for the last 10 years in my mind. It feels like two of them. Happy to be proven
I mean,
wrong.
I think
I think it might. I think it might be what's that thing called? Recency bias.
it's
Last
definitely
10 years,
reasons.
I mean maybe, but like who? Give me okay off the top of your head. Give me like two people, men, not
I
women.
don't. I don't.
Last 10 years.
Miles Teller in
Okay,
Top
yeah,
Gun.
fair enough.
That was
Fair
never
No.
a
enough.
serious. That was never a serious suggestion.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
This
What
guy
can I
in
say?
Hunger
I
Games.
have I
This
have
guy
my
in Hunger
taste.
Games.
Oh
He looked
please,
What the
quite good
recent
looking.
Hunger Games, like today, this year's
No, no,
one?
no. The
please.
previous one.
All of them.
Nobody,
Finnick.
None.
nobody in that.
I'm trying
No
to
Oh,
remember
man.
those.
No, please.
mm,
Come on, man.
Finnick was
also
very
like,
attractive.
No.
yeah, but like you cannot look attractive
Okay,
in
check.
Hunger
Look,
Games.
okay,
They're
fair. Enough, that's
literally
not the point.
dying. It's a post-apocalyptic
I'm
world.
trying to remember. There's one movie. See, if you
It
had given
doesn't
me time to
happen,
prepare,
man.
I would have
Yeah,
It
sat
doesn't
down and
happen.
be
but
ready.
The
I
way he
think
was shot, the way the clothes fell on his body, his walk,
Sure,
yeah,
his
sure.
legs.
I think we
Come
can
on.
agree, and maybe the last thing we agree on during this segment that like, yeah, he did look
Fair.
incredible in this. Like, I was like, I remember watching, and it's funny when I got that text after I left the cinema because I was watching and I was like, I think I get it. Whatever girls think about Jacob Elordi, I think I get it right now because like he,
Yeah.
the way he was shot between Emerald Fennell and the cinematographer, like the way he was shot, the way the clothes just fit on him, it was like I was like, okay, I think I whatever they were saying, I get it. But Bolu, I think I kind of know where Ebuka stands on this. But Bolu, what are your thoughts on this movie? What are your general thoughts on this movie? It's going to be a very, very loose and ill-formed
It,
conversation.
Okay.
But let's
Like
it's actually a movie.
you
That's
know,
how I'll describe it.
it's certainly a movie. Wait,
It's
Ebuka apparently had a. What do you want to say? What's the segue you wanted to
no,
use?
no, no. When you said it was going to be a very shapeless, formless discussion, I thought you were going to like make a simile, like
Like the movie.
But I didn't say that, but
I'm trying
it
not to
felt like that's what
insult.
you were
I'm
trying
trying
to
not to
say.
insult the movie yet.
Okay.
So,
but
Bolu said it's.
yes.
Bolu said it's certainly a movie. So, Bolu, yeah, what are your
Yes.
thoughts on the film?
Okay, I think Saltburn is an interesting movie. It's certainly, I'll give you one thing, it's not boring and it's quite memorable. It
Mm.
has, again, if you've seen Promising Young Woman, and before going into this, I don't know a lot of people saw it, but the people who saw it again, they remember it. It's another very memorable movie. I think that's how I would describe Saltburn. There, it's definitely a movie where you see things that you would not imagine to be in a movie, or you are like, why would someone think of this? I had that thought like there are two times I think almost everybody there are two times. It's the thing is that I think those two scenes really were very what's the word polarizing scenes for everybody. I think that
Uh,
because if you cut it out, I think it's a very pretty movie. It's quite like style over
oh, it's a
cinema, and
beautiful movie.
I also think like a strong part of the movie is the fact with some of the decisions they made in regards to class because I kind of like when the movie kind of ties up I'm kind of happy like they went in that direction instead of like
Okay, so
demonizing like a certain class of people rather than like okay he's just a board cycle from
uh,
this certain class not
yeah,
but yeah so
Ebuka, hold on to your thoughts first of all.
I'm not sure I think it's a good movie yet. I've been bouncing about this movie for like weeks when
So,
I think about
Okay.
it. I don't think it's
um,
bad. I'm quite sure it's not bad and it's memorable. But I'm not sure I think it's a good movie at times. But
Okay.
I don't think it's bad and it's memorable. So it has like two really strong things going for it. But like if you hold a gun to my head and they're like, "Do you think it's good?" I'm like, and then bang, because I'll be busy thinking and like
and
contemplate.
then
'Cause I'm still
bang.
contemplating. Because the person will get
Um,
very irritated with me. I'll keep like
yeah,
moralizing, like explaining myself for like 30 minutes to an hour, and the person will just get bored and shoot me.
I want to just quickly say though, this is going to be this is a spoiler filled discussion. We're going to give spoilers about both films, so please, if you haven't watched either of them, I maybe past lives less so, but I even still think you should watch it without knowing how it ends. But definitely, you want to watch both movies with the details. So yeah, please avoid spoilers and come back and listen to us talk about it. Ibuka, what do you want to say?
Oh, so I really like how
Oh, Ibuka, sorry, Ibuka, tell us your journey with past
so
lives.
yeah,
Sorry, with Saltburn.
I'm coming to get to that. I really liked, or maybe I should say, loved the way Bolu framed his review. Right, I don't think Saltburn is a bad film, and if you know me, I've said that like throughout this podcast, I'm coming to terms with thinking better about movies, why I like films, why I don't like films, and what makes a movie good to me. I don't think Saltburn is a bad film, but what I will say is that of all the films I've seen in my life, I think Saltburn is in like the top five that I have the least appetite to rewatch. And I'll put it like this:
Easily.
when I came out, so and this is not because of any of the crazy scenes. I saw the scenes and I like a part of me giggled because whatever. But like when I came out of Saltburn the first time, I enjoyed it. It was an enjoyable film. It was pretty. It was like Bolu said, memorable, and there were really good acting performances, really good lines. Uh, it was a nice lazy Sunday film, you know. And then I think the more I found out, the more I heard everyone Fennell talk about the film, the more disgusted I was with the film, and the more I hated the film.
Interesting.
So it's like I thought it was. I would have rewatched Saltburn. Saltburn would have been a recommendation of mine many times over
Mm.
the day I left the cinema. But after that, everything I've seen and heard from the director's mouth just has
Oh no,
made
I'm a
me
bit I'm a bit afraid now to find out what she had to say.
has made me hate the movie.
Um, so I didn't like Promising Young Woman, and I think we did an episode on it, so I'm on the record. That's not even. I didn't like Promising Young Woman. Lots of things, and thinking about it, I think a lot of reasons I didn't like Promising Young Woman are apparent in this movie. I think Promising Young Woman, when you hold it up to light, it doesn't hold. Like just the logic and the ideas and what it's trying to say just don't make sense when you hold it
Yeah.
up. And my main problem with Promising Young Woman is the ending and how the ending just basically invalidates the entire movie before it. But that's a whole different thing. Like basically the movie spends whatever 2 hours saying the police fucked up by not investigating this woman, and the end makes the police the heroes. That's a whole different thing. Anyways, so I went in Saltburn and I told you like, so when I want to be a generational hater, apparently I can be, and I don't like that about myself.
Yes, yes, and
But
I'll tell you what, because I know Banky, that's a reason why I was somewhat defensive about all the criticism regarding Saltburn. I was like, oh, you know, Banky just doesn't like this lady, so he's going to like Banky picked up on the fact that there were super battles in the wrong year in the
I
film. I
come
didn't, I
on
didn't pick
now,
up on that.
you can't say the movie set in 2006 and have Superbad playing on the TV. Let's behave ourselves now. I
That's
know I know when Superbad came out, and now they're watching it at home on TV. Come on,
Oh,
let's behave
so
ourselves.
also another thing I will say is that like just as a segue, something that I might not get the chance to
wait,
mention
wait, no, no,
later.
no, no. When did they get admitted?
2006.
Yeah, but like they were watching it this summer. It was not the summer after.
Superbad came out 2008.
Oh,
So
it's
they're
oh
at least
08. I thought
yeah, so they're at
Superbad.
least
I
one
sure
year.
Superbad is not 8. I
Superbad
thought
is
Superbad is
Superbad
oh 08.
was oh
yeah.
07.
Superbad is oh 08.
Oh,
And
okay,
they're,
my
and they're
bad.
watching
I
it
thought
at
it was oh
home.
07.
So this is like
Oh,
another year after.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, after, yeah.
So I'll tell you what, right, is that the way I saw them watching
No,
Superbad
Superbad is 2007. You can
was it?
allow it. Just allow it. It's
Yeah.
oh 07. Just allow
Okay,
it. Allow it.
still. So they're watching it at home the summer it came out.
It
They're
came
rich.
out exactly. It came out when. Just allow it. Just go with the flow with regards to Superbad.
Go with the flow.
Just allow it. Like
But
same
okay,
movie. I mean, the same year. I get you. You're right. Like it's definitely like a, especially since it was like early in the summer. Like and they were,
Yeah. Anyway,
you're
but that's a
definitely
whole
right on the.
different thing. That no, no, let me, I didn't hold that against the movie. It was just an
yeah, I
annoying
know.
thing. It's like I was doing the math in my head, but I wasn't like, oh, this is a movie. This reason this movie is bad.
That does happen in movies. That thing what you call when you realize like the timeline consistencies are a bit off.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't notice, but
But yeah,
what I did notice was that the way they were all sat around, you know, eating and talking shit and not paying attention to the tiny TV in front of them is how I would recommend Saltburn to someone to watch from this point forward. Yes, as a little
What is after the
background.
pod? You tell me what she was
you
saying.
know,
Honestly, like
no, we're gonna go over it. Trust me. Let me
oh
let me
no.
let me frame this discussion. Maybe I'll use my own thoughts on the film to frame this discussion. So like I said, I went in not wanting to like the movie, but also like I want to like movies, so I wanted them to convince me. If I came out and was like, oh, that was actually so incredible and smart and astute and everything, I would have loved that. I spoke to you after I came out of the cinema, and what I was thinking about was just like I was surprised how fun the movie was. I was surprised how funny the movie was because I watched it in the semi-packed theater, so like
Yeah.
people were laughing, and so that was not what I thought the movie was going to be going in.
Okay.
But those were the things going for it. I think the acting is good. I think Rosamund Pike is incredible in this movie. There was a point when I thought, oh, she's just going to be funny throughout, and is Richard E. Grant just going to be oblivious throughout, and I was going to be fine with that. Obviously, they get to do a bit more, whatever. So those were the things I was going for it. But then and somebody said it, and when they said it, I was like 100% that's my thought as well. there, my problem with this movie, and it's the main problem, and unfortunately, it's a big problem that invalidates the entire movie going experience, is what is this movie about?
And what is it trying to say?
And what is it trying? Because I think if this movie comes out in the summer,
Mm-hmm.
it's a summer, whatever, I'm like, okay, whatever, a summer fun movie. But, and this might be being too meta, I mean, this might be unfair, but we know that it's a promising young woman. Obviously, that's a rape revenge movie, so you need to know what you're talking about. But even apart from that, if you bring out a movie in the fall and it's your follow up to an Oscar winning film about a rape thing,
I was very shocked that
and it puts this kind of class structures and everything, and even tries to throw in some race, I'm sure you get into, then I know you want to say something.
no,
So if you want to say something, what are you saying?
no.
Because I'm like, you can't. If this movie came out in a random February, or if someone were like, okay, you're just a fun movie or whatever, I can disregard it. But like, okay, what are you trying to say? What's this movie about? Bolu, what's this
But
movie about?
I heard that like part of it is like a self insert at points though. Like
Oh yeah,
I heard like
Fennell is moneyed.
That because she's rich.
I heard
Yeah,
yeah I heard that there's actually like a literal like partially like self insert in the movie.
Okay, then that's a bit scary though, because if she's rich, what's she saying about poor people?
yes. That they want to get into your life
And they want
kill
to
you.
and
No,
fuck your corpse.
correction. No. I think the correction. I think again there was a strong discharge that it shifted from a class war because that lad it turned out that he wasn't actually like what we thought he was. He was actually upper middle class. So again, it shifted from an actual class to
It didn't
he's just
shift.
a
It made
bored
it worse.
psycho.
It made it worse in my opinion. It
Didn't
didn't
shift.
shift.
No,
Because
He's just not poor.
exactly.
Like there's
he's not just poor. He's upper middle class.
I
Like
don't think he's
they're
upper middle
quite like
class.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
no,
I think
no.
he's middle class.
They're upper. No. They're upper. It is upper. I'm very see. I live in. I go to this burb. That's upper middle. He's not like
I think
the top end of
I
upper,
think
but
because they made sure to insert like the holidays every now and then, they're like, they want to show you that
yeah,
they're
they say
okay.
every summer like Mykonos and
Okay.
like he was
But
talking about like how comfortable regular middle class
Also, they
don't
pay
like they
for
don't
Oxford.
all of them.
but he's a scholarship student.
Is this your
He's a
scholarship?
scholarship
Okay.
student. That's the whole thing. He's a scholarship student at Oxford.
I think that is up in the air
But okay,
with
so the
his.
thing is,
I
So
think it's highly likely he probably paid because
I
of
actually think
and he made up the scholarship student thing.
I think he made up everything.
oh wait,
Fam.
I actually think the middle class thing makes it worse because if he was poor, it could be a thing of like how poor people hate the rich. If he's middle class or upper middle class, it makes it worse because it
He's
means like
bored. He's just bored and crazy.
no, but that's
So you're calling him crazy.
He's
That's
he's a
just
sociopath. Like that's clear. He's a sociopath.
okay, fair enough.
is that too easy?
I think
It's not too
I
easy.
feel like we thought we were getting a class more,
I
but this
could
is just like
accept
a guy
that.
who was bored. That's what I got. Like he was just a
could-
bored psychopath who wanted
I could
to
accept
ruin
that.
these rich people because he thought he could.
But he wanted
So I would.
Saltburn. I don't think it's about.
So that's what I'm going to say. I could accept that, but I feel like the movie inserts many things in to dance on the line of the class war. Things like Saltburn hypnotizes people, Saltburn seduces people. People get lost in Saltburn.
And she also makes, to her credit, the rich people bad people.
Yeah,
Except maybe Jacob Elordi's character. Every one of them shows either apathy for the poor, or look at the way they treat Carey Mulligan's character. Like that's meant to be like, these are not great people, right? And
I,
actually, Bolu, what did you think the movie was about when you watched the movie? In the last 4 weeks or whatever since you watched the movie.
I don't think I don't know. I think you really want this movie to have a point, and I think like not
So
all
Bolo,
movies have to
I
have a
was on
point.
your side. I was
But
trust
she
me. I was on your
obviously
side.
wants to have it. So,
Until you hear what she said, right?
so wait, do
I
you
don't, know,
think?
I don't want to dislike the movie.
So
No, wait, Bolu. So you think? I hate this guy. I'm not trying to like debate you and convince you to not like the movie. That's not what this
No,
podcast is
I
about.
get you.
But like, I don't think you can make this movie without wanting to have a point. I'll be surprised if Emma Ronaldo was like, you know what? Okay,
so
yeah, Ebuka, tell us your own history post
okay,
watching the movie.
okay. So I'm not going to like. You can cut this out.
I
eventually.
won't.
No, not this. I'm
No,
about to
no,
ask you
no.
something because I don't even have a strong memory of it. So maybe I'm forgetting. But what was the point of talented Mr. Ripley? Like, what was it trying to say?
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something
Literally,
embarrassing?
No, okay. In fact, cut
you
this
haven't
out
seen
for
it.
sure. Cut this out for
No,
sure.
keep it. Okay, watch Talented Mr.
It's one of
Ripley in your spare time.
it's high on the list. I'm watching it this Christmas, definitely.
It's somewhat on the like. There are definitely like parallels
So,
Mhm.
so the
between
thing,
that and
the
Soulborn.
thing, the thing with Talented Ripley is that do you care about spoilers for Talented
Is
Ripley?
it bad? Does he kill everybody?
It's not a bad spoiler, but the thing with Talented Ripley is that it does what you say, where it's like the rich people aren't terrible, and not only rich people suffer. So you could actually say, okay, this guy is just a psychopath.
Yeah.
It's not just rich people that suffer, and they all aren't terrible.
I mean, even excluding Ripley, I can't think of them right now. But there are movies and shows about this kind of interloper that comes in and fucks up in the society or family. This is like, and I think Bolu, I think you're giving her a lot of credit if you think she just made this movie just because.
Okay, so that is something I'm going to get into. So two things. The parts where this movie soured for me was I was watching YouTube video, and Emerald Fennell said she, and this is a direct quote, maybe with some like edits because I don't remember the exact words, but she said she rejects. They asked her about the scene where Farley makes reference to the fact that
He's black.
he is black, right? And she said she rejects every notion of discussions on racism, classism, sexism, and all other isms coming into this film. So essentially, she just spends millions of
What was the
dollars.
question? What was the question?
Someone asked her about Farley referencing the fact that he's black and Felix's two, what are they called? Underclassmen or something. Not underclassmen.
Oh, servants, basically.
Yeah, they're black.
Mhm.
And she said she rejects all discussions about racism, classism, sexism, and all other isms emanating from this movie. And I just, like, at that point, I just turned off my laptop because to me, but see, that's the thing. I don't think you can spend millions of dollars,
You can.
create art like this, and the undertones that are very clearly showing.
She
and
put
then
this scene in. Why did she put that scene in if she didn't want to talk about race?
And exactly, that's what I'm saying. And then say you reject all, because it feels like an easy cop out, and it feels like you just sprinkled things in. Like, that's what I'm saying. It was a fun film in parts, but it feels like at some point, some decisions that she made regarding the film
See,
were not enough for me to now say, you know what,
Fair
she
enough.
did well. It's still a fun film, but I can't.
9 out of 10 people don't have podcasts about films.
Okay, fair enough.
Right? And they will watch this film and they'll be fine. They'll breeze through. And that's it. But unfortunately, the last 2 years have made that I think a lot about film. I watch Cocaine Bear and I think about that, but I know how I'm thinking about that. I know what I'm thinking about Cocaine Bear. Like, I'm just like, that movie is constricted to think about in a particular way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
don't know. Okay, Bolu has what Ebuka
It's
said.
a very frustrating movie. It's a very frustrating movie. It's like Promising Young Woman. Like you'll be thinking about the movie like how to judge it for a long while.
Of a good film.
She can't tell me that she was not trying to do anything about class. Then make them both rich.
The class one was insane.
Make them both rich if you're not trying to say anything about. Make them both really rich. I mean, like the same level of rich, or make them all white.
Exactly.
You made a conscious decision to make this character black,
and he mentions it in the film. It's not like something that has an undertone.
Like, I remember, I was just rolling my eyes. Like, what am I watching here?
So in my eyes, I was like, okay, it's either she's trying to say the race is a thing, or she's trying to say, oh, Felix is so kind that he's so oblivious he could never see how like the race could be a thing.
But the problem is that we know as black people that people that don't see race are not, they're terrible people.
But that's the thing. Felix is the nicest person in the film, and then for her to now come out and say she rejects all, then she needed to have found an answer to when people, because for her to think people won't bring up these things is just very, I don't know. I don't know how to put it.
Is Oliver a hero or a villain?
Oliver's the main character.
He's trying to get you arrested.
Yeah. Barry Keoghan's character. No. No, because I have a reason for asking. Like,
he's extremely villainous. Like, he's like
he's villainous. Okay,
so is this because of his murderous actions or because of his bathtub and graveyard actions?
I mean, we'll get to that. I guess we'll get to that very.
Oh,
like, because okay, he's a villain.
Yeah,
because like in most, I mean, obviously I haven't watched replay, so that's annoying. I should have watched it before recording this.
Yes.
Jacob Elordi's character is the best character in this film.
Mm-hmm.
He might have done terrible things off screen that we've never seen, but like for the time we see him in this movie, he's at worst like blasé about life and narcissistic and like
he's just kind of chill.
Yeah,
for the most part.
He doesn't.
He's likable.
Yeah,
and so, I don't know. I just don't understand what she's trying to say about this movie.
You're so stressed about this movie.
So
you're not stressed about what she has to say.
I wouldn't have cared if the movie wasn't trying to say anything, but for the director to like just flat out cowardly put out a statement like that. Just
I
irritating
mean,
my
look,
soul.
my follow-up question, you can see my notes, is does it matter if it's not about anything? And I don't think every movie should be about something, 100%.
Same, yeah.
But I also think we can't use that as a blanket statement because we know sometimes when filmmakers want to make movies about particular things.
Even if it doesn't lie, do not reject all discussions. For her to not even say all other isms, I'm like, how about, so we should just not analyze your film at all?
Yeah, as in like, should we just not analyze is your movie just not made not to be analyzed? That's actually a good thing to say because like Cocaine Bear is not meant to be analyzed.
Exactly.
You're meant to watch it high or drunk and just have fun and go away. That's meant to be analyzed. That's fair. But like, are you trying to say this old boy is not meant to be analyzed? If that's what you're saying, then let us know going in. Don't bring it out in the fall. And I know that's a very arbitrary statement to make, and people don't know that fall is Oscar season, whatever. But like, you want this movie to be nominated for things. You think you're making an issues based movie, and you're just like, you didn't mention the main things said about that in that quote.
What she said?
That to her, this movie is just about what
Oh,
young love.
oh my god.
About what?
Oh my god.
That to her, this movie is just about first love.
First love and falling in love for the first time with something, with someone or something. I can't remember what it was. And she goes on to extrapolate like something or someone you can't have and the pain of. And I was just shaking my head and rolling my eyes, and I think I
I actually need to like.
mixed
I
my
need to know
brain
how
up with my
her
tongue. It
mind
was
works.
just
Honestly, I'm actually very interested.
I don't think I like how
her
her mind works. I've seen some interviews. I don't think I like how her
so
mind.
I was-
And this is a very weird thing to say,
I was
but
just like, at what point in this film did anyone who has felt first love or the foolishness or the yearning of who, if you're not a psychopath anyway, even felt like this film has anything to say about first love? And this is not to say that first love is something that needs to be pretty, because I think I sent Banky a text that after watching this film, a couple weeks after, I watched Call Me by Your Name, right? Which is another controversial film. But that film, I can even accept, has more to say and something more hearty and heartfelt to say about first love and the futility and the stupidity of, like, you know, wanting something you can have. Way more than fucking Saltburn, man. So I just think, like, so one thing I always say about art, right, is that, like, for you to make art, for it to even go anywhere, anyone can draw. You see it all the time. Millions of people in the world can draw, but there has to be a reason why you're drawing, and you need to be able to tell a story behind what you're drawing. And if you cannot do that in the way that she has just cowardly come out to say she doesn't want to talk about anything,
it's like
and she
cowardly.
just brought up a random talking about first love, then yeah, man. For me, the movie went from this is a fun watch and it's very funny, very beautiful. It has some really interesting things happening during it to just
I'm sorry, I can't believe because I told you I didn't even see like no I didn't see, but I couldn't even understand the class thing. Then I came out and somebody was like, "Oh, the class warfare was not done properly." I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know she was trying to do that." I can't imagine that she wrote this script without thinking about any. I think maybe she felt
maybe our
like I
mind
mean,
changed. And I think people who come in need to get a better idea. I think no one like people. I think okay. Let me just give another synopsis for the listeners now. If they still feel a bit confused about what the movie is about, because right now I'm sure they're so confused. Okay, so Saltburn again is a story of two friends who meet in college, Oxford in particular.
yeah,
There's Felix, the rich, handsome, perfect. He's literally the guy
yeah,
of guys.
basically Jacob
He's
Elordi, but
him,
yeah,
Jacob Elordi, who is from a very very rich family and is the highest tier of class in the UK. His family is like a lord. He has an actual castle and it's a beautiful home. And he meets Oliver. Oliver is the central character of the movie, and Oliver is like besotted by him. Like he's charming and he just wants to be his friend and grow closer and closer to him. And then he ends up meeting his family and they have quite a crazy summer.
Oliver
And
lies and tells him that he's from drug addict parents, and
yeah. I mean, you don't find it out until
no,
later, but yes.
kind of, yeah, trying to like, give them a mystery of like, so,
I mean, anyone who's
the
gone this
relationship and
far and hasn't
has
watched it
probably
and
been
still
spoiled
wants to watch
already.
it is still is
Yeah,
a
it's
hell
probably
of a
spoiled.
soldier.
oh, don't get me wrong. I still feel like it's Saltburn will be a fun Friday night, Sunday night.
I think most people would enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
And I think most people are not going to interrogate what
And
this movie is trying to say.
enjoyed it. Let me just say, my souring is completely based on the statements that the director made. So I still think,
But
as a film,
I think your
it's
Sarin
not bad.
is just a more tactile version of my own Sarin.
So I'll put it like this: Banky is better at the whole film thing than me, so he probably came to the realization before me. I had to like go and see what the director had to say and then understand.
I think I was just like, you tried to make a statement and you did it very poorly.
Exactly.
And she's now I don't even. I think she saw that critics or critically those statements were not landing, and she's like, I never wanted to make those statements in the first place.
Yeah, I think that does
Because
sound like
I am sorry, nobody can say they're not thinking about race and putting that scene because it's literally one scene.
yeah,
She did that just to cover her bases.
yeah, to say she addressed it.
Yeah, and it's not as if it doesn't come across again. It's just one scene. And she's like, "Oh, we cast a black guy for this. Let's put this in." Or maybe she already always always had a black guy in mind. I don't know. Bolu, does Oliver's character make sense to you? We'll wrap up this discussion on Saltburn quickly. But does Oliver's, because I feel like we throw in he's a psychopath just as an easy way to make sense of everything.
Okay. What about him doesn't make
Um,
sense though?
Like, does the plan make sense? I'm trying to say, if we weren't saying, oh, he's a psychopath, which is
the
very
movie
easy.
takes again like promising a woman. It does take a bit of like leaps in logic. Like when you think about it in detail, it definitely does feel like they definitely have to like plug convenience for some things to work out and pan
Yeah,
out. To be fair, that does happen. But even like towards the end of the movie when they're like everything is tying up, I was definitely like this
that
definitely.
was
There's
yeah,
certain points where like there's a lot of like plot convenience, but I was so like, you know what? I guess this is where we are with this movie. This is such a it was everything else that was happening made me feel I just couldn't like dwell on that. Like movies that are big on logic
yeah,
and like let's say it's a Nolan movie and his movies have had like those issues once in a while.
yeah.
Like so people will love some Nolan movies, but those things will bug me in a Nolan movie where like if because you know Nolan is a thinker and like
I
he
get,
structures his movies
but you
well. So
see,
that was one of the Nolan movie.
you're saying the same thing, just like you didn't have the same feelings about Emerald Fennell. I had to because I'm just like
No,
I
I feel like
know you don't come off winning an
in the making
Oscar.
of this movie, I feel like with this movie, the way it's designed, or
Yeah,
like how do I put this? The
I
box
mean,
this movie is in.
what box is that
Because
though?
Fernando is extremely like no, let me go back. They call Fernando like a thinking man, like very
Yeah,
typical. So like when
yeah.
things like logically are off, or like I feel like there's a plot hole, a big plot contrivance or convenience that
Mm-hmm.
will bug me because I feel like he thinks like. But with the way Saltburn was, I feel like the point of the movie was not necessarily plot contrivances and plot like leaps. I feel like it doesn't just matter as much to getting to certain points matter
Yeah.
in this movie. That's
Yeah,
why I felt
fair.
like
That's fair. I mean, I think my thing was like, I just know you don't come off making promising young woman, which whatever my first promising young woman literally like I had problems during the movie. I was like, okay, I basically blah blah them away. It was literally the last 10 I'm like, this destroyed the entire movie. But you don't make that movie which is lauded and known as like the feminist movie of the year or whatever
no,
about
it was also a very that one was also very polarizing as you can
oh
tell.
yeah, but like the people that loved it really loved it. And like she won an Oscar for best screenplay. So like the laurels are there, but you don't come off that and just be like, yeah, I'm making this movie that nobody has to think about. That's
Guys,
just not the way society
guys,
works.
I'm so
People
sad.
are going to
The reason why I'm sad is because we spent a lot of time dunking Saltburn. And if you saw me the day after I watched it, I feel like I should dedicate like at least 2 minutes to talking about the things I liked about
Yeah,
this
okay,
journey.
no, I mean, I said yeah, man, at the beginning, I thought it was really funny. It was a fun experience,
Yes.
and if the movie stopped there, that would have been good. But clearly, this was and okay. You know what? I know how we can do it. Rank in order of what you are comfortable with and what you are most uncomfortable with. The three like transgressive things. I think there are three,
Okay,
right?
yeah. So I would
There's the
the graveyard.
vampire one, the
Yeah,
graveyard
vampire,
one,
graveyard, and
the
bathtub.
bathtub. Those are the three. Is there any other one I'm missing, Bulu?
no, those are definitely the three
So I'd
standouts.
like the two of you to rank them in terms of what was most comfortable and what was
Okay,
least
so I'm
comfortable.
just gonna say most comfortable straight up is the vampire one because that scene was
Easily.
But famously, you're not a period sex person.
incredibly well done. Yeah,
But famously, you're not a
but
period
that
sex person.
scene
Shall I say
was
it again? But famously, you're not a period sex
you
person.
guys are wondering what Banky is referring to. There are many
The,
episodes
it,
previously where I've mentioned this before, but I would say this: that scene was incredibly well done and very sexy. It was. I'm not a vampire, but that scene
I think this is the
made it
important bit
sexy.
now. Which was
I
worse
feel
for
like
you, for both of
I
you?
feel like
The bathtub
it
or the
was
Bathtub
literally
graveyard?
or
that
graveyard?
graveyard.
Bathtub.
Graveyard easily for me. Graveyard easily for me.
Oh my
Graveyard
god.
easily for me.
Okay,
So,
I said that as a joke earlier, but I feel like somebody might end this recording
so
arrested.
just to clarify, you were most comfortable with the bathtub.
No. Most uncomfortable.
Oh, you're most comfortable with the bathtub.
Yeah.
But what are you most comfortable with? The graveyard.
Graveyard.
So
Yes.
you found
Most
the
uncomfortable with the
bathtub
grave.
more comfortable than the graveyard.
I mean, KD said he would drink Scarlett Johansson's bathwater one time, so you
Oh.
know, men be crazy.
Oh,
I,
let's
I'm
start. Can we
sorry
start with
that
the
that just
bathtub?
took me out.
Can we start with the bathtub?
Okay.
So when we see him spying, and this is the wrap up. We're gonna wrap up. We're talking about Past Lives, a movie that I think we all enjoyed. Actually, that way we can end on a good note.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we see him spying on him, and I'm like, okay. And then sort of cuts to the water, and I'm like, you're not gonna do this. You're actually not going to do this. And I literally had to look away. And then you hear this slurping sound. I was like, oh
the
my
sound design
God.
during that scene was just chef's
I was
kiss.
like, you're actually not going to do this. And because that's the first time.
You know why I love the sound design in that scene? Because even in my cinema, a lot of people looked away, but they made sure
They
you
you know. You're like,
Because-
oh no, you're not going to escape this.
I don't think we had seen Oliver do anything weird up to that point.
Yeah, we hadn't seen
That was when
it.
we're like, oh, things are not
Wait, no,
right.
no. We had actually.
What
What
had he
did
done
But the
before
time he
then?
was when he was definitely stalking, when he was just outside the window staring at
just
him.
standing
That was the
outside
first.
staring at
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What
Okay.
you probably brush that up, but trust me, when you think about how crazy that is, that was. Do you know the funny thing that? Do you know when I tried to catch Oliver, like the person I was with? I literally like when he tried to say that woman was a liar
Mhm.
about her backstory. I was like,
Oh,
I catch these things in movies. I was like, he's lying about his life.
Well,
He's
okay, so I
projecting.
didn't think he was catching.
I mean,
Sorry, I didn't think he was lying.
actually,
But I thought he was like trying to ingratiate himself. Because
Yeah,
we saw here that he went to go and study all the drinks or whatever for the dad. I can't remember what he was studying. Was it drinks or
Mhm.
rocks or something that the dad liked?
I was gonna say birds, but I don't think it was.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. But I was like, we could see that he was, and then he was obviously he was even flattering Rosamund Pike. So I was like, oh, he's just trying to ingratiate himself to this and
no,
be
I
on
was
their
like,
good side.
But that is a
in
good
my
catch.
mind.
Actually.
Yeah.
I was like,
Bolu, walk me
I
through
was
your
100% sure. I was 100% sure.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things I feel like movies drop in
With
as
the
a.
backstory. Funny thing is, like, I actually said this to Bangi. I thought, like, I was completely in the dark.
Oh, me too.
Until
Me too.
I'll tell you what. Even until he started panicking on the
Even when she opened the door, I was like, I just didn't know what to think.
he's safe.
And look, I know we've been very down on this. There are parts of this movie that I think work really well. And I think maybe it's my fault for holding the movie to a higher standard. Maybe. But like I think Emma Fennell, there are a lot of things that she does, but she's not going to listen to this. And if she wasn't to this, she wouldn't have listened up to this point. She would have sued me by now. So, but I think there are a lot of things in this movie that are done very well. I think the pulp, I think just, first of all, apart from that, it looks great. I think like just things of this movie that work well. But look, just quickly, before we go to Past Lives, walk me through your thought process during the graveyard scene.
Oh, the graveyard scene was a big.
I would say
What was
this.
going on?
Sorry, Bolu, you can go
Yeah,
after
no,
this.
continue.
The graveyard scene was most unexpected out of all three to me. Like the other two, I could see
That
them
was for me,
kind of,
yeah.
but the graveyard one
I
was
kind of
like,
got like.
my bro, what are you about to do right?
So,
Apparently, that was improvised, apparently.
Okay.
I was like, why desecrating this? What is going on? Like, you see, I have very big main character syndrome at times.
Yeah.
I'll admit this. I definitely do have a bit of an issue, and like, I definitely went office mode. Like, you know, when you're looking left and right, and you feel like someone is pranking you. Like, did we come into the right movie? Like, what is going on? Like,
Oh my
and the
god,
funniest
my
thing, one of
boy
the
was
best things
stroking.
about this movie is the TikTok reactions. Because if you've watched the movie and you see TikTok reactions, you're like, you know, when you feel like you found your newfound family. That's literally it.
So wait, on
Every
TikTok,
reaction
do
is the
people like
same.
this movie?
They're half of them are like us.
I think this
A
movie
lot
is
of
going to go
like,
triple,
Ebuka were
triple
like,
platinum on social media.
I think
though.
this is going to do so well on
no,
Prime.
Yeah,
no.
it's fun. It's a fun film.
See, Prime, yeah, it's going to hit that social media society, guys. Like, if it's timed well, I don't know. Some things like just blow over because you know Christmas things might
But it's
clash
not a
up.
movie
But
to
like,
watch with your family.
Definitely not.
oh no, my
Christmas as
poor.
well.
I feel bad for my friends. Like, I'm going to make so many because it's hitting Prime. I'm going to make so many of them watch it, and there's going to be so many. What the hell, Bolu? Some of them I tell them to watch with their family. Honest, I'm like, you know, such a great. I'm a villain.
They will never forgive you.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean, because like, just there are things to like in this movie.
I'm
But,
thinking
like,
about the
I might
karaoke
wake up,
scene right now.
oh yeah,
I might just wake up to be like blocked by like
It's
6
being rent.
people, like because of
I don't know. Yeah,
the
just
movie.
like it just doesn't. I think it just doesn't hold up to scrutiny, man. And then the final dance scene when I guess he's meant to dance like what? He's the puppet master. I'm
That
okay.
movie, that's one my actually
Come on,
like
man. Even
it
his
might
party was
go
really
to.
fun. Like they had like little sprinklings of a good film. The Maze,
Oh no, like I said,
The
there are things
Midsummer's
that
Night
work. There are
Dream.
things that work in this movie. I think what doesn't work in this movie is when you try to think about it.
Yeah, and when the director ruins it for
And and I'm sorry, but I like
I'm
to think about
crying.
movies like this. Like you can't like especially in a world where we have so many eat the rich movies. And this is not eat the rich movie, but like what's so many eat the rich movies that a lot of them make us think. And so not all of them are like great, but like
you. Yeah,
at least live up to like the menu
I don't think it
standard.
was. I don't think it was an Eat the Rich movie by the time they hit us with the bait and fail. And now, I
eat
mean,
the
I want to
rich.
get to
Yeah,
Past Lives.
I,
Past Lives
yeah,
is
let's
one of
go to
my
past
favorite
lives. Let's go to
movies.
past lives.
Yeah.
So
So
past lives
let's do a quick
is
roundup on let's do a quick roundup on Saltburn. Let at least tie it up so it's not too jarring. Saltburn
um
for me is still to be discussed. And 5 years from now, I might still be to be discussed about that movie because I don't know how to feel half the time. So that's
so
my take. It's quite interesting. And actually would recommend a lot of people to watch it just to say you have seen it because it commits one of the things I do like about a movie. It's definitely interesting and it doesn't leave you bored. It's quite
yeah,
memorable. And I feel
yeah.
like that should matter. That doesn't mean I think it's essentially good, but it's like a really beautiful like Ferrari crashing. I guess it's a beautiful crash to
yeah.
watch. Like watching a beautiful
Yeah.
F1 crash. I guess at
Ferrari's out
times.
next week.
That's a good
Can't
way
wait
to
to see
put it.
that.
Yeah. Good shout out.
Ebuka,
Yeah.
what's your wrap up?
My wrap up is listen, like don't take my word for it. My feelings are completely personal. I still think Saltburn is really pretty. Like Bolu said, it's really interesting. There's a lot of good acting performance. There's a lot of funny lines. You'll have fun during the film. So if you will enjoy it, I still would recommend people to watch it. Just certain people I recommend it a little less. People like Banky who like to think deeply about films. But yeah, my experience was ruined by the director.
I
But
think
it's
I would
fun.
say if you know, I mean, not again, everybody doesn't as what, but if you know to go in, turning off your brain, then maybe you can enjoy. Like, look, I would have thought Barbie was a turn off your brain movie, but that movie, I needed my brain more than I needed it for Zodburn. If I could turn off my brain for Zodburn, I think I'd have had a better time. But yeah. Anyway, okay, let's talk about Past Lives. Past
Past
Lives
lifetime.
is written and directed by Celine Song, starring Greta Lee, Tio Yo, and I really hope I pronounced that properly, and John McGurr. This is one of my favorite films
Who's
of the
John
year.
McGarrett?
A husband.
Oh yeah.
Husband. A patron
Um,
saint of understanding husbands.
um, how do I even start this conversation? Bulu, what are your thoughts on Past Lives? I think we all, I
I
can
think
say we all love this movie.
I love Past Lives. Although Past Lives, like when I left the cinema, man, I watched it by myself. I was just walking around thinking about my life, man. Like Past Lives, it will make me see. As
I
a
had a very
certified
similar
lover
reaction, to
boy,
be fair.
I was just thinking about everything that led me to this point in my life. And like the movie was extremely personal at some levels, like the way
Yeah.
it made me like reflect on some of my decisions. Because I feel like it's a great performances, but I was like, man, this movie's attacking me. That's how I
Yeah.
felt. But like, it's a great movie. So I think we should also give people a synopsis of Past Lives so they get an
Um,
idea.
yes, Past Lives follows two Koreans, South Koreans,
Mhm.
as they meet each other 8 years apart. You just watched the movie
12.
12 years apart.
12,
12 years apart.
12.
So in their childhood and they're like mid 20s
And then in the
and then
30s.
their 30s. And it's kind of like this kind of reconnection of lost love and first. This is a real movie about first love. Fuck whatever I should say
Yes,
about Saltburn.
actually,
Um
this for the real lovers.
yeah, Emeka, what are your thoughts on Past
Ah,
Lives? Then I'll share mine.
Past Lives is just a really beautiful, simple, but personal story. And it was a really nice and heartwarming watch from the start to the finish. And I think that's the best thing about the film. All parts of it, like Bolu said, it feels personal. And I think it appeals to a very specific part of if you're in the diaspora of any country, to be honest,
Mm.
and have friends
See,
and loved ones, all over the world. It does appeal to that part that you massage and in some ways crushes that side of your heart.
Yeah, I've spoken to maybe 6 people about past lives, and I was telling you this. All the men I've spoken to, the men being Bolu, yourself, and TMT, all love this movie. They all adore this movie. They're all like, they want to sing from the rooftops. All the women are like, yeah, it's good. Let's move on. And I'm just like, wait, I don't understand what the gendered divide is.
They just showed you the film.
Maybe this is why we're like, hey song, and
Exactly.
we want to go back and make it work. And they're just like, I've moved on. Because like all the women are like, oh, I spoke to someone. I was like, oh, do you want to come on the podcast? She's a friend of the podcast. I was like, I really like this movie, but not really. I don't really want to talk about it. I was like, oh, and she was like, I really is like might be my top 5, but like not really. And I was like, oh, this is so interesting. All the men just like
maybe they're just scared to confront it.
maybe all men are really men are strong.
We're very good at confronting our feelings.
So when I
you know what's funny? Sorry,
yeah, no, go ahead.
But when Banky was talking about, I texted Banky like, oh, female presence on the Past Lives podcast would have been good because obviously it's,
I tried. Trust me, I tried.
Yeah.
But then I thought about it, and after rewatching the film, I thought, what is more manly than sitting in a circle and talking about your exes?
Well, the one that got
no.
away.
Exactly.
That was all I was thinking about. I was like, his song. I was like, damn. No, I was like, I thought, like, I just like think the kids like, no,
So
like, literally, I didn't head home. I'm literally walking around Manchester for like 45 minutes, like just thinking,
was that when you began your walking odyssey?
Oh, fuck it.
bro, maybe.
No, so I watched this movie and I finished the movie and I was like, oh, that was fine. That was a fine movie. And I remember not even like, I was like, like I'd heard some stuff because it came out in the UK late. And I was like, oh, I've heard some stuff that this movie was good, but not like it was how good it was. So I was like, oh, that was a fine movie. I don't know if I really loved it. And it was so weird how the movie like snuck up on me. This is after the movie, the lights are coming on in theater. I'm like, oh, that's fine. Wearing my jacket. I'm like, oh, that was fine. I don't know if I loved it. I don't know if I'll like it on. I don't know. I'll put a heart on Letterboxd. I was thinking about that. And all of a sudden, the movie just snuck up on me. And it was so weird. Like, I was just like thinking about it more. And I started feeling a pain in my chest. Like a literal pain in my chest. And I was like, what is going on? Because my cinema is 30 minutes from my house. So I walked back. I was walking back and I was like, oh, I can't wait. I have to Letterboxd it now. I have to write the review now. And it was just... So, actually, let me read my Letterboxd review. Because I literally wrote this
I think
on
that's
the way.
the most I've seen Banky write on Letterboxd.
I don't write Letterboxd review. Like, I just write like... Letterboxd for me is a diary. So I'll just write like a funny line from the movie that I remembered or whatever. And I'll put, oh, I liked it or not. But I was like... I was literally walking home and I was typing while walking home. This was how... And I was so surprised because like 5 minutes ago, I was like, oh, that's a fine movie. Can I go on? Like, I've seen movies like this before. And I was like, so let me read my review. I saw this movie 30 minutes ago and I've had a panic attack pain in my chest ever since. Coincidence? I think not. There's such a deep sadness underneath this film. A sadness of missed connection, a sadness of a life not lived, a sadness of a love not loved. But also there's a joy of becoming who you're always meant to be. It's all done. Again, I'm walking down the street. A car is about to hit me as I'm typing out of this shit, but I have to get it out. It's all done so expertly and subtly that you don't realize it till the lights come up, that it hits you and your heart wants to burst through your chest. So you're forcing yourself to log this Letterboxd review and you walk back home from the cinema as you pass, true story, as you pass a couple kissing like they are long lost lovers. I wanted to slap them. I was like, why are you kissing on the street? I started to think about how much more devastated I would be if this was told from Hae Sung's point of view.
You know what's funny is that like Banky has been dodging rewatching this film. And
I have.
just realized
I have been dodging rewatching this movie.
I haven't watched the movie either. I'll start like hitting up people I shouldn't be hitting up, trying to see what's supposed to be at this point.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, just quickly, this movie was told from Hae Sung's point of view. I might have fought somebody outside. Like if this was his movie, would have fought. So I would have just not be slapping random people on the streets.
Poor Hae Sung, man. Poor Hae Sung.
But also, like, I mean, yeah. So that's how the movie impacted me. Bolu, what did you've explained how it impacted you, but what did you love about the movie?
I liked the movie because it wasn't a bigger thing I'm becoming a fan of is very powerful dramas that don't have the Oscar scene, as I call it.
Okay.
You know, they're just progressing through their feelings.
Like the Marriage Story scene where Adam Driver is punching the wall.
Like they're real. There's no resolution.
Yeah,
it's just like not just that. Like sometimes even in those like big Oscar movies, there's no like resolution, but like there's no like the scene that everybody is reenacting for years.
Yeah, the
You
scene
know,
where
like,
all the emotions, everything comes
don't
out.
you or like
That makes sense.
you couldn't handle the truth,
Which
stuff
other
like that,
movie?
and those
Which,
are
which
great
other movie
scenes.
falls? Which other movie falls in this category
And
for
I feel
you?
like it was just like you mean like no like
Yeah,
powerful
in the
like
past
I
lives
don't know.
category. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll take Power
I
of the
can't
Dog.
remember.
Power of the
I
Dog
can't
is
remember
very
at the
good.
moment
Well,
off the top
Power
of my
Dog
head.
is
I
not
probably should
fun.
have.
Is
I
it
should
not?
have.
Mm.
No,
Power the Dog is not a fun
even
movie.
though one of my
What
favorite
is a
movies
fun
of
movie?
all
No, no, no,
time,
not fun. But
I haven't seen it yet. Um, Even though my favorite movie of all time does have a few Oscars, they're going for it scenes. That's Magnolia. Oh, it's breaking again.
Hmm.
It's Magnolia, one of my favorite movies ever. It has like three of those.
I need to watch
But
Magnolia actually. God, my
that
list is
movie came out in
full.
a very personal time in my life.
Hmm.
It again, I think like sometimes when movies time when things are going wrong in my life, there was a very important relationship in my life that was
yeah,
Yeah.
very stressed, and like the movie had like a one to one of that relationship, and I literally called the person like I was almost crying, like I had to apologize, like that, you know, when like one to one, like so past lives again, if you're shut about like a diaspora, you're trying to figure out because again, to go to the weekend, when I moved here, I left someone back home. So I started thinking about this movie hard. Like I was just sitting in a corner, like in my mind, and I was walking around the town. I was like,
real man, real,
Man, this guy waited 12 years and the shot was gone.
real.
Oh my god, man. Yeah, it's just yeah.
I think we do the movie a disservice
Mm.
though if we focus on
Just
the
thinking about
the
how relationship matters,
the
like
chances that he missed or them not being together. I think we do the movie a disservice or them not ending up together.
I mean, I think I wrote in the review. I think a big thing about this movie is just how she's grown
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that like, what does her husband say to her? You change, and that's who you are. Something along those lines.
Yeah, and there is okay. So there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about in this film, and we've been talking about like Hey Song and Na Young,
Yeah.
and I think there is a we might have experienced it, and you might have experienced it both ways, being like immigrants in another country. But there is a power dynamic from being the leaver and being
Mm.
the one who was left. And it is very apparent in this film. And it doesn't even have to be changing countries, it could be anything. And that power dynamic is very clear in this film because, like we all said, you can see that there is a. Another thing I was going to say I love about this film, the performances are so good. There is a very subtle difference in how she sees him and how he sees her. It's like subtle. He tries to play it off. He tries to pretend like it's not there. She tries to pretend like she doesn't see it, but it is there. And like
it's there.
when he looks at her, he's just staring at her, completely enamored. But when she looks at him, she is like,
She sees Korea.
yeah, it's almost like her looking. This is gonna sound bad, but it's almost like her looking at a. I don't know how to put it. She is. It's like
There's
a
more
toy she
nostalgia in the
wants to
way.
play with. She's like intrigued by what's there. She's like looking past him, looking through him, and he's just like staring at her. She's thinking, oh, what about me have I left behind in Korea, or what am I not anymore? Like there was that scene where she says she said she used to cry a lot, or he said she used to cry a lot. And then she was like, she doesn't cry anymore. Or he made a joke about her crying. And she remembers him being there when she cried, and he remembers her crying. And sad as it is, her husband now doesn't know that about her. Like, there's parts of her that he doesn't know, but like some guy who was her classmate when they were 12
Yeah, I
knows.
mean, I think she's she talks about him about being so traditional and like he's just like you're right. There is a pandemic. Like she's been to Canada, she's been to New York. She's like a different person, and he's just still just this Korean
Yeah,
person that she knew 12 years ago and 24 years ago. Um, and then when she realized that he definitely came back, basically, not maybe not to win her back, but just for her.
to check.
They came back, came to America for her and just to see her. It's And then like, but the movie ends in a way where they're both okay to move on. Like, okay, quick question: did you ever think they were gonna get back together?
No.
But
Yes,
you didn't, Bolu.
yes. I
No,
thought,
no, no. I wasn't sure. Halfway through the
okay.
movie, I was quite sure like they weren't going to get back together. I kind of like, oh, it's not that type of story. Like by
Mm.
I would
halfway through the movie, I was like, it's not that type of story.
fair. I would tell you at what point I thought they would end up together because if you've been indoctrinated in typical romance or like drama films, when the husband starts around halfway, there starts to be an undertone in how the husband speaks. Like, he has the perfect
That's when I was
story.
sure.
Yeah,
That's when I was
really.
sure it wasn't
So I was like,
happening.
he has a perfect
That
story. I was like, oh, this guy is like teetering on villain territory. Like, he's about to get really angry, and
it was no, he never got angry. That's when I was very sure. Like he
he
was, I was
plays
like,
it
he
well, but
became the pitch.
it felt like he was
He,
close to getting angry. Like he was
he was
controlling
playing
himself.
5D chess. He was playing 5D chess because let me tell you something.
What does he say? What right do I have to tell you you can't see your
Yeah,
childhood love or something
and
like
I'll
that?
tell you something, right? The way everyone reacted to this film, maybe it's an indictment on me. I thought they would end up together because, like, halfway through, when I started seeing that, like, the husband was showing these signs, I thought, oh, it's going to be a triumph of, like, she's not going to end up with either of them, but she's going to realize that, this isn't her. This isn't all it is for
Yeah.
her. Even when he was like, "You make my world so much bigger," I'm just wondering if I do that for you.
Oh, is that in bedroom that night?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what's his scene? That scene, my god. No, I think everybody kept on saying, "Oh, this movie was so heartwarming and loving," and I was like, "What the fuck movie did you guys watch?"
Oh no, I mean it's I don't know.
Because that
There's
movie,
definitely a lot of heart in. There's definitely a lot of heart, but I won't say it made my. I won't, it made me
it
feel
made me sad.
things,
I don't
but
know what you're talking about.
like it made
No,
me
but
no. How do I put this?
it kind of made me like accepting though. Like I feel like me and Banky have had conversations about this, and I've said it on the podcast before. It's like one of the I know it's easier said than done, but one of the best things you can do with your life is accepting that things happen the way they happened,
Mm-hmm.
and if they were going to happen any other way, they would have happened any other way. So even when with him saying at the end, one of my favorite line I believe in this film, I think I need to think if there's another one I'm forgetting, is when he says, "I realized that that I loved you because you were you." And you were always going to be the person who left, or you are the person who left, and that's the person I loved. So
Because yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it's like
No,
that
because
acceptance.
you leave,
Yeah,
and
oh
that's
yeah,
what I love about
exactly.
it.
You
Yeah,
leave. You're the
that's
person who leaves.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Fam,
just going,
I shared a silent talk there for him as he said that. That felt like
Bro.
acceptance. I was just like,
And the
I
way
was
he
like,
the way he puts it, and it's such a perfectly put description of not just the love between him, a childhood lover, and someone moving country. It's a perfect description for a lot of relationships.
yeah,
Like, I love you because you're the person who leaves, and like you leaving is why we never work.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm just I just gone down a letterbox wormhole because I've gone through one of my friends who loved this movie. I'm just checking like 4 different reviews who all love the movie and they're all men. I think this movie might be it might be a movie for the man cave, man.
okay, so I'll tell you something funny, right? I was watching this film for the second time. And I was going to ask Bolu this because I know Bolu is a big fan of 500 Days of Summer. So I was going to say on the scale,
stress. See,
on the
stress.
scale of 500 Days of Summer to Past Lives, like that's going to be the new balancing scale. Like, do you think this film falls more on 500 Days of Summer, or does it fall more on the it's all right? Because 500 Days of Summer is garnering a very swift incel reputation on the internet.
Or they're
Oh,
pro
no,
JGL's character.
No, anti.
they missed
Like,
the point.
no, I'm just saying, like, in general, like,
No, the incels,
yeah,
like because
people,
he's the
no,
villain.
not the insults. I'm saying people in general are souring on
I won't say
500
he's
Days.
the villain.
Come
It's
on.
just that, yeah.
You just called him an incel.
People. No, it's not an incel. There's definitely a bit of an incel culture, like surround 400 Days or Summer.
Around
To be
him.
fair,
So, yeah.
that's growing around the movie a bit because I've like JJL has said it. The
Many
director has said
times.
like, why are so many people missing the point? Like, th- none of them are perfect. Like they hit you on the head many times, and
Yeah.
he doesn't see her for who she is. And they admit that she's selfish and not a good person, but like she has also told man she didn't send him dreams. Like she kept like telling him what was up. He kept like because again, when you're too indoctrinated with like romance movie and this big idea of who people are versus who they actually are, and like so. Yeah, this is that would be a very stressful two-parter
So
for any guy.
the only reason I said it is because this one that Bank is saying there's a gender divide in how people see this film. I'm saying in
I
5
think it's
years
how people,
time.
no, I think it's how people love this film
Okay.
because this movie is
No,
written
no,
and
no.
directed by a woman. It's not like I don't think it's ever going to fall into incel core. But I think
No,
it's
it's
like
not.
for at least for the women we've spoken to is like, oh, I like that movie. That was a nice movie. Let's move on. But the men is like, please can we talk about past lives? Can we talk about past lives? Because how much it affected me. Like the men are really, really, really invested in
Past
this
Lives is
movie.
really beautiful, man. Like,
The
I would
bros are
watch
going
that
through it
film.
when they
I
when
would
they
Bro,
watch
watch
Past
bro,
Lives.
I'm going through these letterbox reviews and people are talking about manly tears. People are talking about their first loves, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is the most emotional I've ever seen men
You,
before.
you know, men are very like that joke on the internet about men being forever invested with their first loves.
I would watch.
I mean,
I
look,
You
your
know,
would,
first
this is
heartbreak. How'd you get over it? How'd you get over your first heartbreak?
I would watch
I
this
don't know. I
movie
met like two
20
people.
times. 20 times.
Oh,
I'd watch this
oh
movie
no,
20
I'm
times.
gonna like. Obviously, I'm pushing back this first rewatch. Once I do that first rewatch,
Yeah.
I think this would be a movie that will be like, yeah, over time. But anyway, okay. Is there anything about this movie that, or actually, yeah, this movie first of all that you want to touch on? We haven't touched on.
I was going to say one of my favorite things about this film is, I think I've said already, the acting performances were just too real, and it's a combo of
Mhm.
like the actors and the screenwriter. Because I remember watching this film and saying, of course, Banky loved this film because his famous quote, he just loves seeing actors act. Because there's so many things. When I said performances are good, it feels too real. The first time they see each other, she spends like 3 seconds saying "wow" before they even hug, because that's what you would do if you saw someone you had since you were 12. It's like,
Yeah,
even the way he acts on the Skype call and the way she acts, the way they talk, the things they talk about when they come, the way they hug each other, like, stand back and
Yeah,
look at each other again,
yeah,
and then hug each other again. Like, I can't believe, and it takes him like 10 seconds for him to hug her back
yeah.
because he's just still shy, still.
This is not an exaggeration, sorry, but I think all three of them are so good.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be narrated. Um, she's so good in this movie.
she's
If
amazing.
all you've seen her in is Russian Doll and The Morning Show, you're like, where did this come from? But yeah, I think she's gonna do it I'll be surprised if Gatali doesn't get an Oscar nomination. I think Hey Song, the actor plays Hey Song, is so good in this. But I also think John McGurray is so good. Like that performance is easy to come off as annoying
Yeah,
and too laid back and like, oh, he doesn't care.
yeah.
But we know, but he shows us that he cares. It's just like very, very
He doesn't know what
respectful
to
of
do.
her. Yeah, it's sort of her
no.
agency
I
and
told
like
you guys that it's also 5D chess.
I
You
don't
don't
think he
want
was
to
playing 5D
push.
chess.
No,
I
not
genuinely think
5D chess. I don't think he was, but I won't say 5D chess. But like, I think he cares so much. But he also knew that he had to approach this very delicately,
yeah, 100%. But I also think
very
that was like
delicately.
that was his even his instant
But I
like
think that was like sincere, like care for
yeah.
her, like and like love, like so
Um
that once I saw the reviews of the movie, I was almost like 100% sure that the husband wasn't going to be the bad guy because that's so played
okay.
out. That is very played out. So once I saw the reviews, I'm
I
like,
didn't know anything about the movie going
Would
he
in.
you
was
have
about to
blamed
be.
him if he was the bad
I didn't
ish
even know
guy?
she was the husband. No, I wouldn't have blamed them. Without he should have had to pick somebody.
Okay,
Like going into the movie, all I knew was the poster. And the poster is them on a train
same. I didn't
smiling.
know there was a husband.
So I knew it was a husband. So when they're going through airport security and it's like, we're married, I'm like, ah.
So exactly. So
I was like, what's going
I'll tell
on
you what.
here?
At that point, I even thought, oh, this is the placeholder. They will get divorced, and then she will.
Just the random white guy she saw at the retreat.
I was so shocked that it was like, okay,
So yeah, and I thought it was a romantic movie about reconnecting. As it was going, I was like, oh, this is about reconnecting with your first love and it blossoming. I was like, oh no. But I wouldn't be me if I don't talk about the end of this movie. The last scene is this long one take. And this is not an original thought, so I apologize. I'm sure it has been said everywhere other places. But like you see how they both walk from right to left.
yes,
Right. You're following them. One take, this whole thing. They get to the thing. They talk about Inyon and seeing the next life, and you're like, is she like? Are they going to kiss? Are they not going to kiss? The taxi, like that whole thing is just the tension there is incredible. But the important thing is that like you see her walking from right to left, so she's like basically walking to the past with him,
mm-hmm.
and then when she's walking from left to right, she's walking into her future,
Goes
and then
forward.
when she gets back to John McGrath, she just breaks down. I'm like, oh my god, this. I like so it's just that whole thing. I was like, the shot of them when the taxi comes is so surprising to all of them because they don't
Yeah,
know it. Like you're almost thinking like it's simultaneously too short and not too long because you're thinking, oh, if they have 5 more seconds, will they kiss? Will she get in the taxi with him and go back to Korea? Like it's just I love that ending. And then obviously him in the car, he's going from left to right, I believe, in the
yeah,
taxi. So he's also going to his future. And it's like he's smiling and everything's at peace. It's just there weren't many times. I mean, this is a very, very, very well handled movie, directed and like well constructed. But there were many times where I was like, I felt flawed by
yeah.
the directing. That was one time I was like, oh, this is. And even in the earlier pit in their childhood when with the
The
stairs.
stairs. Yeah,
Which
there's
is going
the,
up
the
and
film is really well blocked or framed in many,
Yeah.
many scenes.
very, very.
If
Yeah.
you watch it again, you notice it. Two things I was going to say about this film. One is that, you know, when they're talking about Hae Song's potential wife, and he's talking about all these reasons why he can't do it.
Yeah.
Sad as it is, those walls wouldn't exist if his current girlfriend was not young. I don't think he's saying that because he's speaking to her. I think those are real walls that he's put up to like stop himself from getting married.
Hmm.
But I think those walls don't exist if it's with
What
your.
were the walls? Like he doesn't like his
It was
job.
like he doesn't like he's not rich enough,
Yeah.
and like he was like the conditions aren't met, and it's hard to get married. And I don't think those walls would exist if he was with Na Young, and that is because I think when you're 12 or like when you're young, and you think you love somebody or you think you really like somebody, right? When you're somewhat older and you're like in your 30s, yeah, even though you haven't seen that person for how many matter of years,
Hmm.
it feels like a waste to be closed off to them. It's kind of like, what am I hiding? Or what are you really hiding? Like like for example, the clear example in this film is like him knowing her as a crybaby. So when you meet them at like 30 something, it feels like a waste to be guarded, to be closed, to try and
Because
like
they
put
kind
up
of like,
walls.
yeah, yeah,
Because it's like
yeah,
this person knows me like finished. They know me down. So as they
yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
everything about what I was when I was like 13. So it feels weird for them not to know everything about who I am when I'm in my 30s. At least that's how I saw and that's how I felt about that scene. I was just like, oh, like he has all these things, obstacles to him to get married. And like it would be so much easier if he was just with her.
So in summary, Saltburn is for you wearing some of your brain, and past life is for the boys, the man them,
Exactly.
the men who want to
No, it's for
cry.
everybody. It's for everybody to be fair. Like, well,
Bolu,
we're
any
saying
final
there's a
thoughts?
guys movie, but it's for Past Lives is a really good movie. I think I've already passed the existential crisis the movie initially put me through.
Yeah, same, same.
And
I can't
like,
imagine what
How
I've
many
said.
past
see,
lives do you guys think we have left?
please don't stress
As
me out,
in,
man.
as in people.
No, not people, but in like the environment, everything.
I'm
Like
meeting people that I know people that are getting married to their first real love. So like
no,
maybe we don't really have that many. Maybe you already
yeah,
maybe one is too
exactly.
much.
So that's what I'm saying. Because like, how many past lives do you really have? Because if I meet someone, in like, I feel like I'm already as jaded. Please, I don't want any more. Let me not say anything. But I just feel like you get to a level where you're really jaded, and there's no more jadedness to come,
Yeah.
and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is me now.
I think I have at least one more.
At least
There is
one.
no way I'm marrying the next person I date.
No, not the next person, but so the next one is your big heartbreak, or
I don't think I have another big heartbreak. No. I think I'm. Oh, you talking about heartbreak?
no, not heartbreak, but like past life, like someone you're like, oh, that just feels like so long ago, like a different life.
I'm currently going through one, so
Fair,
yeah.
fair enough.
And I'm trying my
Damn,
best
sorry,
to like.
bro.
No, it's long, but like I want to be
Okay.
friends.
Yeah.
Like I really want to be friends. I don't want to live a life where I'm like, I loved you at a point, and we knew everything about each other, and then all of a sudden we
Yeah.
just don't talk again.
It's crazy.
To me, it feels like not even a waste because I don't think
Can
that. I'm just
I
like,
shock you? Can I tell you
what?
something? That comes from a place of fear, where you're like, it comes from a place of fear and manipulation.
I went was to therapy.
No, where you're like, this person has so much info about me. How dare them run around the world?
No, but not even that. I just feel like we've made such a good couple of relationship that I think we'll also be very good friends.
Fair enough.
And I'm just like, it's been a while since we broke up. Can we actually just like not?
Fair.
It just seems weird to think that that person and myself would live our lives without
Never
ever
reconnecting,
being in
yeah.
the same life. That's just like,
Yeah.
that's so weird to think about. And that's what's going to happen with his song. And they'll probably talk once when she goes back to
Yeah.
Korea. Maybe if he comes to New York for a work trip. But they will never really be friends again. That's just a wild concept. So
Will they
feel like
never
that-
be
that-
friends? Why can't they be friends? I think they could be friends.
They,
were
no,
childhood
I don't think they can be
lovers.
friends.
no,
I
I'm not
don't
saying
think
they can be. I
friends.
just think they won't be.
I think they should be. In fact,
I'm crying. I'm crying.
I think they
The
should
boys
be.
are going through it. I don't think they should be.
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll see.
I actually don't see the
We'll
harm in it. Like,
Oh, I don't see the harm. You see me, I'm trying to be friends with. I don't see the harm either, but I'm just thinking of how life works.
yeah.
Anyway, Bolu, so you didn't call any of the people.
That remains to be seen. I would never confirm or
How come
deny.
you watch this movie alone?
I just felt like critical acclaim, so I just like wanted to check it out.
Well, maybe it's a
So
good thing you didn't take a female companion.
if it was someone else, I just like get out of here, man. I need to go run back to my true love. I need to go find my true love.
I need a moment. I'm the one who lives, and that's why you love me. I'm living. Okay, let's
Post
wrap it
past
up
life
there.
clarity. We post past life clarity. That's the new
Post-life
thing.
clarity. I don't
It's
know. I
not
think
hard.
maybe post-life clarity. Maybe the cinema crew would cover one or both of these movies during the Oscars run. We'll see.
Also, I wonder. Sorry to interject. I wonder if Celine Song was tempted. I know this movie is from Na Young's point of
Perspective.
view,
Yeah.
but I wonder if she was tempted to tell a different story, but also from Na Young's point of view, in the sense that this story is like kind of focused on the lost love and relationship from a country,
Mm-hmm.
but there's also like little sentences here and there that make you sad, where she says she's like a child and she says Koreans don't win the Nobel Peace Prize, and then she says to her husband or his song that, look, I emigrated twice
Mm-hmm.
to be in New York. I'm not going to mess up for this guy. Do you think I'm going to miss my rehearsal
Mm-hmm.
for
I think that was
being...
to her husband.
Yeah, so it's like there is an undertone of the whole immigrant experience, I guess, of like trying to achieve more or do more, and everything that you're kind of losing or leaving behind to focus on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's maybe they don't even need to expand.
Even when she
We
said
can get that. Like
yeah.
if Bolu's past life comes to him now and says, "Come back to Nigeria," he's like, "Wait, chill. Have you seen the exchange rate? Let's calm down. Like, are you sure you
No,
don't want to come here?"
I'll be real. Okay. In 2019 during
This is gonna
COVID,
be an
yeah.
insane bad signal.
I would like no. The person knows. Like I would like. I was like planning to move to America for someone. Like I started like
You're moving
no,
to
you start planning.
America.
I was like, screw it. Like when I've been cooped in my house for too long. I was like, you know
Yeah,
what? You only live once. And then you
true.
just start,
You
like just like
you do only live once.
yeah. And then I just started planning like a million. Then I just sat down like this is crazy.
This is crazy.
That
Me,
was
I'm
literally
very,
me.
I'm
So
very
then,
anti moving anywhere for anybody.
For someone.
I've always,
then
I'm anti changing your job for someone. I'm anti, don't do anything like that for somebody else, please.
you
Anyways,
might end
but
up presenting you person when it doesn't work out. At the time I want to move back to
yeah,
Nigeria. Partially for someone and partially that I don't like England, but also partially for someone. But like I also really don't like England. Like I get tired of this country and like Nigeria is
I'm so
frustrating.
happy. I'm so happy you didn't move back. I can't imagine anything.
Oh no,
Sorry
my
to
life would
say.
be
I
terrible.
can't
Where
imagine
Nigeria
anything.
is
I
now.
can't imagine anything funnier than you moving back and then moving after 3 years. Because
Ah,
you
no,
see that
me
scene
move is
where
an issue.
like all the boys are drinking. No, he walks in and he's like, "Tonight we're drinking till we die," and then they see that she got married.
was that what happened, or was it when
That's
she broke up with him?
I think when she broke up, it was drinking till we died. Then there's another before he goes, they see
real.
that she's
Like, I'm
married, and
like,
they all start
spot
laughing at
interjection.
him.
That was so real when he said that. I was like, this is so real. I was like, it's just like me.
He said, "We're drinking until
Drinking
we
till we
die."
die. Oh yeah,
No
yeah.
questions asked,
Okay,
man.
but
If I look at myself, like, I'll be disappointed. I'm like, oh, I failed. Just like winning her over, I failed twice. Oh, I can't win.
oh my god, but yeah, look, I don't know if we spoiled Past Lives. And
It's so
I'm
pure.
surprised if you haven't watched this movie and you listen to this. But if you haven't, please go watch
Go
Past Lives.
watch
Find it
it.
out. Go
It's
watch
so
Past
And the
pure.
Lives.
bros, let's stress
So
over past lives
innocent.
together.
And I think
Yes, bros.
I think that's part of why the husband like is somewhat relaxed about the whole thing. It's just so pure and innocent, and for him, he is finding out more or discovering his wife in a completely different through a different lens.
So the husband is who I think I would want to be in
Yeah.
that situation. Whether I'll pull it off, I don't know.
Oh,
But I would want to be that
you know
guy in that
what?
situation.
No, I don't even want to be like that. But I think in a scenario like that, for avoidance of fights, I think the husband, for me, knowing the husband is the best person to be. I don't want to be
working in the military.
no, but you know, I don't want to be the person who is meeting their childhood love after 20 something years and like wondering, will she leave this guy for
That's why
me?
you'd rather be the husband than be
Yes.
his song.
Yes.
Yeah, 100% now, of course.
I'd rather be like, I don't want to be thinking, she going to leave this
Unless
guy
you
for me?
believe so much in your race that you can
Exactly.
take this
What line am I going to drop in this bar in front of this man that's going to make her turn around?
But even like, look,
But
there's a great
I can't
relationship
lie.
between his song and the husband.
Yeah, I can't
in the
lie
bar.
though. Speaking in Korean is kind of insane. I'll say my guy speaking English will leave my
It was
country.
it was a bit wild. My guy paid for
I
dinner
will
and then
I
was
will
just
have
there
gone.
during the entire conversation.
I've gone MAGA. Like this is America.
It is
We speak
America.
English in America. America. Take your fancy language back home. This is
Oh my
America.
god. Oh no, let's wrap up. Look, there's so much we can say on Saltburn, so much we can say on past lives.
Like I said, the husband is
Um,
like the patron saint of understanding husbands because
really.
see that's what see that man underrated clinical striker, calm under pressure. You know, see other people they'll sky the penalty, but he kept his composure all
Oh,
through. He
I
didn't.
just realized
Do you
something.
know?
She cried. She cried. She said she hadn't been crying since she came to New York, and she cried at the end a lot, a fucking lot. She cried in
Oh
his
yeah.
arms.
Oh,
I
that's
just
true.
realized that, and
That's
he was like, he
true.
never saw her cry. This, that, that. Oh my god! And
Yeah.
she finally. Oh, that's why I said he's discovering his wife through a completely different lens, and now a different side of her is open to him because he was an understanding husband.
Yeah.
But see, thanks,
Oh, this is a
bro.
movie. This is a movie that.
You came to win over your first love, and you made our marriage stronger. It was literally that waiter, like, sorry, man. Would you let that shit happen to me, though?
Oh my god! Yeah, this is a movie that loves
That's incredible.
all
I'm
its
sorry.
three main characters, and yeah, but let's just end it
Yeah,
there because we have so much to talk about, and
but we
we've
could
not.
keep going. Honestly,
We could keep
I see
going.
the
We
way I
could
love
keep
past
going.
lives here.
Yeah, I think this movie has been. It's funny because this movie has been my top five for a long time. It's been going up, and
Like for
I
the
think
year or all time.
no, how about for the year? For the year, I started to think, oh, am I overrating this
It's
movie?
not, yeah, it's not a bad all timer. For the year, for me, it's a comfortable top five of the year.
Yeah,
All time, I'll
but
be a
then
bit surprised, but like, I wouldn't be shocked. I'll be like,
this
okay.
conversation has
But I'll be
made
like,
me just
okay.
be like, nah, I'm fine. I'm fine
Yeah,
putting it into my top five.
and I
Like
think Past
Killers of
Lives,
Flower Moon, you're below Past Lives. I apologize.
Past Lives is one of those films where it's like you confidently say anywhere it's one of your favorites, even of all time. Like, because it's just a very niche
Especially
type
if you're
of
in a
film.
group of men.
Yeah,
And that's what we realized that this movie is it's
it's a
for the
very
men who want
niche.
to share their emotions. Okay, let's wrap up. Otherwise, we keep on talking.
Thanks,
Bolu,
Trevor.
thank you very much for this was
Have
a
a great
weird thing to
time.
schedule. So thank you very much, guys. Saltburn, if you haven't watched it, it's on Prime Video right
Go
now.
watch
Past
it.
Lives is
Is
Paris
it?
in cinemas.
It's not Prime yet. I thought Sobo was
At the point
22nd.
this is coming out, yeah, to be on Prime Video.
Oh, my bad, guys. This is the
That's fine.
past.
This is the yeah, no, thank you very much for coming, Bulu. And I think we'll see you more in 2024 when
Yeah, I was
the
like,
vote
what?
boys.
Someone I was 50-50. When he said past that, he was like, okay then.
It's funny though, just a quick I thought you loved Saltburn. Because when Ebuka and
No,
I
no.
were discussing this, I was like, I know I don't like it. Ebuka is in the middle. I thought you loved so I was like, I can ask you about
I liked it.
Saltburn.
I liked it. No, no, no. I like it because it gets a reaction to people and it's memorable. I
Yeah,
do like movies that
all
like
your
that. I
posts
respect
make
that.
sense. Yeah, all your posts make sense. But I
Yeah.
thought you were able to watch it because you loved it. But now it just makes it you just
No,
to
no, no.
see them
Suffer with
squirm.
me. Suffer with me. Squirm.
But yeah,
How do you feel? You don't know. I love that about the movie.
so bad, man. So but it could have just been a
All
fun
right.
movie. You didn't have to have ideas.
Sorry, bro.
This is my problem with Don't Worry Darling. This is my problem with Don't Worry Darling. I think it could have been it could have been a fun movie you wanted to be. Even not fun, just a normal movie, and then say you wanted to have ideas. This is my problem with should I mention it?
You're getting paid. This reminds me of something I got told at work. You're
What?
getting paid to do, not think. So that's what Bank is basically
All
saying.
right.
Don't try to have ideas. Hold that camera and let the actors.
This is my problem with Joker, but let's just move on.
All right. Let's wrap up
Yes, wrap
for
up.
the
Thank you
fifth
very much.
time.
Thank you very much for coming, Bolu. Ebuka,
My pleasure.
that's your
I'm
job.
obligated.
Yes. But guys, yeah, we're doing For Mankind, we're doing Slow Horses, two shows on Apple TV that I really, really recommend. Slow Horses is really cooking this season. In January,
Slow
we're going to
Horses is a banger. I don't know why. Like, I wish Slow
such a
Horses was way
good
more
show.
popular because, like, from the first season, really good show.
But I'm happy because it's Apple. Apple don't care if it's popular or not. Season 4 has already been shot. So, uh,
Yeah, nice. Okay, we're safe for
yeah.
now.
And then hopefully they'll do 5 in January. But then in January, we're going to do wrap ups, top 10 of the year. We have some friends on the podcast coming back, which I think you guys will enjoy to listen to. So yeah, thank you very much for listening. Ibuka,
My pleasure.
Bolu, thank you very much. And join us next week. We're going to be joined by Oscar winner, director of The Kitchen, Daniel Kaluuya. Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye.
Safe, guys.